Hi, good morning. Welcome back to School of Confidence. And today we will be talking about Know Thyself. And I'm here with Dr. Davy, the fashionista. Yes.
Hi, Esther.
Yes. And today I'm going to ask you some questions. And the first question is, how do you truly get to know yourself?
Well, I suppose that everyone would have to figure out their own method, but I can tell you what's worked for me. And I should also say that knowing yourself is not it's not an end game. You'd always be trying to get to know yourself. From the day you're born until the day you die, you'd always be finding out new things. And as your goals change, as life changes and everything in your life changes, knowing yourself, it's a process, it's a journey. But everything lies in when you're silent, when you're not very distracted. And also, a very good way of knowing yourself is to know when something bothers you. I think that's one of the biggest ones. So, if something irritates you, whether it's about a situation or about a person, then you should step back and ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? And in those moments of you being in silence with those thoughts, that's how you get to know yourself.
Correct. The next question is, what role does self-awareness play in success and happiness?
That's a very good question. Thank you for asking this. So the role of self-awareness. I find that these days a lot of people are, one, letting life live them, and two, letting other people's or societal norms dictate who they are and how they show up in life. So knowing who you are and finding your purpose and why you came here is a very good starting point, because I speak to a lot of people. We have files maybe numbering up to over 10,000. So I've spoken to a lot of people over the years, not only to them but the relatives, and that doesn't include my work in the hospital, 20 years. And what I've found is that everybody's always talking about what will people say, and they never ask themselves, what would I say? The one person that you're supposed to please the most ends up being the least person who's pleased the most, and that translates into unhappiness and being unhealthy. So if you have a passion, figure out how that passion is going to make you money. If there's something that you're good at, figure out how that is going to make you money. And it's not only about money, figure out how you're going to bring solutions to the world. So if a lot of people are coming to you and saying, this is my problem, because they're asking you because they believe that you can help. And life has a way of lining up everything for our favor. We often neglect the signs. So knowing yourself and trying to please yourself first. This doesn't mean you're not going to take advice from people, but you have to know who to take the advice from. Our parents, they're here to keep us safe. So while they may tell you, just accept a simple job and work for a small amount of money. Yes, you can do that for a while, but you have to understand your ultimate goal of achieving what your heart and your head is geared towards.
So true. The other question is, what questions should we ask ourselves regularly?
You should check in with yourself, and the body is always one of the biggest predictor of what's going on. If you feel yourself anxious all the time, this is mine as a thyroid disease, of course. If you're anxious all the time, what is this feeling telling me? If you're around somebody and you have an unfeeling settling in your stomach, it may be your intuition telling you that that might not be the best person for you to be around. Don't ignore the cues that your intuition is saying to you. So you ask yourself that. You ask yourself, am I living by my values? Which means you have to first set your values, right? You have to know where you stand. You have to know your boundaries so people wouldn't violate your boundaries. So when you ask yourself all of these questions, ultimately is asking yourself, are you safe? Are you happy in this spot? Am I doing the very best that I can do with the life that I've been given? Or am I just complaining all the time? Because everything is in life is geared to make us better. but it depends on your mindset. So another question, do I have the right mindset in this moment? And a very powerful question that people can ask themselves, is there a better thought? Because if you're always carrying around the negative thoughts in your head, it's not going to work out well for you. You just keep seeing more of that negativity. So is there a better thought that I can have about the situation? You know, many examples have been given. You might be driving and you see somebody in front of you slow. But what if the person has a sick person inside and they can't drive fast, but you there getting angry? So always ask, is there a better thought that I can have? Do I always have to criticize? Do I always have to have an opinion about something? You actually don't. All of that is just wasting your time and distracting you from actually finding the solutions that you came here to find for the world.
Okay. And the last question is, what is the best advice you will give to someone who is young trying to know themselves?
The best advice that I would give to a young person who's trying to know themselves is to just sit in silence sometimes. You don't always have to be in a crowd. A matter of fact, a crowd is going to distract you. Find good mentors. Find someone who's lived a couple more years than you, who wouldn't be taking advantage of your mental capacities, because you know that there's some people who can take advantage of the vulnerable. And you would use your intuition to know who is good for you. Yes, mainly it's sitting in silence and trying to figure out, why am I here? What am I naturally good at? And then you work from there. As time and life goes by, the picture will unfold, because not everything is all clear, and that's the exciting part about life. Even for me in this point, I'm like, so what's next? What's next? I tell Esther all the time that Mondays, I'm happy about Mondays. And everybody's like, why would you be happy about Monday? Monday's a new chance to start everything over. A new week. How can I help? How can I be of service? What can I learn this week? And once you adapt that attitude, you would find that life is going to unfold many things for you. Once you try to stay on the positive mindset side, it doesn't mean that you won't be disappointed. It doesn't mean that people wouldn't do you things, but always see how those things are trying to help you in life, instead of going like, oh my, this, that. Life doesn't reward the very fussy person. Life rewards the person who has taken everything that life has thrown to that person and make it gold.
Yes. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you like it, and feel free to ask us questions in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Bye.